Chapter 3. Dishwashing. "Oh my, that's been and torn it!" exclaimed the scullery maid. With warm, soapy hands, she picked up the plate from the floor. Turning it over, she carefully inspected it. "It ain't broken. See, it's only cracked a hairline. There, to the side," protested the maid. "Aye, but them's are the rules. 3 breaks, and you're out on your ear, my gal. Can't have the king's best china shattered into 1,000,000 pieces by butter-fingered little flibberty-gibbets like you. It's more than my job's worth to protect your careless ways. And this is the Victoria plate," she said impressively. "What were you doing that kept your mind off your job? Thinking of some good-for-nothing lad, I expect." "I was singing." "And what, O nightingale of the soapy dishwater, was you singing?" she inquired sarcastically. "This, what my granny taught me, may she rest in peace." Then she broke loudly into song. "Early one morning, just as the sun was rising, I heard a maiden sing in the valley below. Oh, don't deceive me, oh, never leave me, how could you use a poor maiden so?" "What nonsense!" Cook said sharply. "You're as dull as dishwater, and I've never seen such a one for dropping and breaking things. Why, if I didn't know better, sometimes I'd think you're on the plonk. You seem to trip over air. All fingers and thumbs you are. I can't keep having this, my girl, I won't. This is the 4th piece of china you've dropped and broken. Pack your bags. You're off." Then the poor little scullery maid began to cry. "And I've got the wedding breakfast for the Crown Prince and his bride to prepare for tomorrow morning. I can't leave these dirty dishes on the table. The mice'll find 'em quick smart, and they'll be dancing on the plates. Doing a merry Highland jig, if you please. Muggins here will have to wash them, I suppose. Oh, but I don't have time to clean 'em all. Oh, what a to-do," Cook said despairingly. "Oh, no, Cook, you can't sack me. I'm the only one what's earning any money. Me mum's sick, and there's 7 more mouths to feed. Please let me stay." She began to sob uncontrollably. "Stop your blubbering. Didn't you hear me? Have you got cloth ears? Or have you just got the brain the size of a budgerigar? Get out!" By now the little maid was prostrate on the floor, her wet hands clasped as if in earnest prayer, begging for mercy. Meanwhile, the dropped plate had been thinking some alarming thoughts to itself. "Ugh! What is all this crud on me? This revolting brown stuff sticking to me? What? It's almost. It can't be. It is. It's gravy and a few chicken bones and half a parsnip and bits of leek. Oh, there's a lamb chop and some Yorkshire pudding too. And it's all on me. Help! Nanny Seren? Mother? Father? Dundee? Anyone? Oh, ouch! There's a split on me and it hurts. These women are lifting me up and turning me over and speaking about me as if I was a dinner plate. No, it can't be. Ouch! Oh, that split thing really hurts. I must be mad. This isn't happening. I haven't. Oh, I have. Somehow I've become a dirty, used dinner plate, thought Victoria, horrified. A bubble of anxiety rose within her as she now realized the bizarre truth. Moved by the tectonic plates of the earthquake, she had, somehow mysteriously, become a plate herself. But at that moment she could think of nothing else, not of being a girl again, or the park, or Dundee, or anything. Nothing except getting rid of all the food that was stuck on her. Ugh! This is horrid. Somebody's lunch is on me. Get all these disgusting knobbly bits off me, she tried to yell, but of course no one heard her. Someone! Anyone! Oh, this feels foul, she moaned to herself. This is unfair. Bad stuff always happens to me. I bet Nanny Saren and Dundee and Mac are all enjoying a grand old time in the park. They're so lucky, but not me. How did this happen? Oh, who cares? Just please clean this sticky goop off me. I can't bear it. Stop talking, people, and just clean me, will you? I'm soiled by this rotting, yucky crud. If I don't get cleaned soon, I will die. Just then, a deep, clear, comfortable voice was heard, and everyone was quiet. What seems to be the problem here, ladies? Said the kindly voice. Oh, I do beg your Majesty's pardon. I didn't know you was there. It's just that this girl's got 4 strikes and now she's out, explained the cook. What do you mean, 4 strikes? Asked the king. Well, if you break a dish 3 times, then you're relieved from service, she said officiously. And this Victoria plate is the 4th dish clumsy old Butterfingers here has dropped and broken in as many weeks. She's got to go. Is this true, Gladys? He asked. You know my name, sir? She said timidly, yet astonished. I know all my servants' names. Yes, sir, it's true, I did drop it. But the plate just jumped clear out of my hands, like it was a cake of soap. Like a cake of soap does in the bath, if you know what I mean. It was like it didn't want to be there. Thank you. For your honesty, you shall stay. Your job is safe. Now go and wipe your face and go home. It is late. Oh, thank you, sir. Then the girl broke into a fresh bout of sniffles from the relief of it all. Oh, you best go and sit and calm yourself down a bit, said the cook to the still slightly sobbing girl. But, your Majesty, said the cook, turning to the king, with the greatest respect, I'm sure. These dishes ain't going to wash themselves, you know. They need to be cleaned, dried, and set up for the wedding breakfast tomorrow. There are the guests. I know, Mrs. Harfren. Don't you worry. I will clean these plates and cups and spoons and bowls myself. You, your Highness, she said, astonished. Well, I never. Who ever heard of a king cleaning his own dishes? Next you'll be saying you have to wash your own coronation goblet, or the crown princes have to wash their own little silver spoons. Mrs. Harfren, he rumbled warningly. Yes, sir. I'll just return to my pie dough, then, if you won't be needing me, your Majesty. And she went over to a nearby table and began kneading dough silently, still shaking her head. Just then the cook caught sight of the king's hands. They were red and scratched from tending to his roses, for he was a horticulturalist. Unable to stop herself, the cook protested, But, sir, your hands, they're scratched and red raw. If you wet them, they'll sting like the blazes. Oh, please don't do it, she beseeched. It's late. I don't want to disturb the others. You're run off your feet, and Gladys is in no fit state for anything. I will clean them myself. The king then turned back to the sink full of dirty dishes. A feather of steam curled up from the hot, soapy water. A thin membrane of fragrant bubbles swirled rainbow high. A wince of pain flashed on the king's face as his hands submerged into the water. The next moment, Victoria was in the firm grip of those kind, sore hands. She felt herself sink down through the skin of the scalding water. But held in those hands, she knew she was safe. Down, 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 into the water slick with grease and brimming with morsels of husks and bones and lardy potatoes, she descended. Past rising scum and rotting food. Now fully submerged in the sodden grey water, she touched the bottom of the sink. Right, she told herself firmly, if absurdly. Even though you're in hot water, try to keep a cool head. Oh, the relief. He's scrubbing me with those bristles. Food clung to her like barnacles on a ship's hull. It was welded on so stubbornly that the king had to scour harder to get the muck off. This smarted badly. Victoria thought the pain from the scrubbing was more than she could bear. "Ooh, ouch, it hurts. But all that grubby filth is coming off me." Eventually, after much scouring, which was terribly uncomfortable, she was lifted out of the water, sparkling clean. A rush of cold air whooshed around her. A quick rinse in some clear mountain water, and she felt herself placed gently into the wooden rack to dry along with the other clean bowls and plates and serving spoons. The fresh water felt deliciously cool as it splashed all over her, rinsing off the old murky water. "These are my clean dishes," said the king as he looked with satisfaction upon the neat rows of gleaming plates. Each plate has a unique pattern and story to tell. Some are colourful, some plain, others are firmly etched in gold, but all are precious, beautiful, and irreplaceable to me. You see, Mrs. Harfren, take this one, for instance, the Victoria plate. He held it up. Because of all the dirt caked on, you couldn't see the exquisite floral and gold leaf pattern that lay beneath. But now I have washed it clean. It's fit for service and splendour in my kingdom. The lovely Victoria plate will be filled up with delicious victuals for me and all my guests to partake of at tomorrow's wedding feast. No one shall go hungry at my banquet. Men, women, and children. Yes, Mrs. Harfren, there's a place even for children at my banquet, for if the children are hungry, paradise weeps.